heart attack. Fast fatal heart impact. Past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask. Grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word. Then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, quite a number of things have happened. We had Deku. Deku, in the last part, he had a bit of a development in his relationship situation. Now, Deku has been together with Mizuki for a few months, if not almost a year. And right now, we do actually have things going on over with Deku and Ochako. Ochako, she's pretty sure she does like Izuku. After everything going on, everything that's happened, and, well, everything they've all been through, there's a lot of trust there. There's a lot of, well, stuff just to go off of. Deku will put his life on the line to save them. Deku will track them down and lose sleep just to try and help them. And that's just it. Trying to track down the Hero Association has been one of their driving goals for a long time. Deku is one of the reasons why she is still in Japan, and why she may or may not have, well, been on her own. Now, with that being said, Deku, he's still confused about how to deal with that. However, right now, there is another situation going on. These three have been hired by the Uchiha Saikai, the Yakuza in Japan, or Overhaul's organization. And very soon, well, there's going to be something happening. Time is a very tricky thing. You can try and change things, but who knows exactly what type of events you may have caused to happen, manifest into reality. And while that's going on with the heroes, they're dealing with something different. The heroes, they are dealing with All for One, who kidnapped, well, 4 of our students here. Actually 5. Now, one mistake I did realize. I said 2 students from UA died during the attack on that place, where it would have been the Forest Training Arc in canon. It was actually 3, so 5 UA students are dead and 5 are kidnapped. The remaining, that is a bit more difficult to say, because either they're in protective custody, or they've all decided that while they're in protective custody, they are going to drop out of hero schools. Now, with that out of the way, we do actually currently have Deku. Deku has been with this organization for about a week, and today is a day not many people were ready for. Deku, he was looking online. He heard about the UA incident, and Overhaul, he actually is trying to call Deku out. Deku, he isn't really too concerned about that. The heroes can handle it. If they can't, then the students will die. To Deku, he may have known those people for a month, but really, a month? He's not going to put himself at risk to try and save them, even if he does know one of them personally from his former life. Now, All for One, he was very annoyed at this. He told Deku very simply, he will murder Bakugo Katsuki. He will take the boy's life, and he will kill all the other students in his custody. And he expected Deku to come running to him. But Deku didn't. And that was what was surprising. The heroes right now are currently trying to track down the villains. And as that is currently happening, there actually is where police and heroes, they do come up to the organization's door. And after they do that, there actually is where Deku, he realizes exactly why he may have been hired. Jizuki, he tried looking for somebody to be a bodyguard because heroes are going to be on their doorstep. And Deku, yeah. Fighting pros, he could do that. Killing, not an option. So, Deku, he currently just stand there. as whenever one of the larger men on Overhaul's side does bust through the barricade and try to swarm the police and the heroes, he's taken down by Ryuko the Dragon Hero. And as many police do come rushing in, there actually is Deku standing there. As right now Deku, he actually tells police go to look dorky at him before they do bring up their weapons and tell him to stop. And the moment they do, Deku, he does stand there. Before he does immediately go to turn his body directly into platinum. And right now, the moment police do see that, Deku does take a step forwards. Many people are actually going to start blasting Deku with weapons. And Deku does simply just stand there. As right now, the actions of Deku does someone going to bring his hand down and onto the ground. And we're just watching, confused, as the ground, it immediately starts to shake. And the area in front of the police, it starts to get ripped up. Now, flat pieces of rock smash upwards into police officers. And right now, as many of them they are taken down, pro heroes do come rushing in. Now, the moment Aizawa does come rushing in, he does immediately turn and see Deku. Him quite alarmed. As right now there actually is Fat Gum, Ryuko, and well, Star Night Eye, along with Mirio and a few other of the Year 3 students. Now, Deku does stare at many of them. And right now Aizawa does stare directly at Deku, as Deku does stare back at him. As their actions were Ryuko, she does tell them to go out ahead. She'll handle this villain. And right now Eraserhead does directly to turn and tell her. He has to hold back. He needs to help her. Subduing him is nearly impossible without him here. And the moment he does say that, there actually is Deku, who does immediately appear again as Aizawa does turn back towards him. He made one mistake. He took his eyes off of Deku. And right now Deku, he does use an ability he deemed useless from a villain. As right now, he does bring his hand up, and right now in front of Aizawa's eyes, he does feel it. As Deku, he immediately sends out a large flash, nearly blinding Aizawa for a minute. And Aizawa does actually going to back up, as it's smashed into a wall. As Ryuko does immediately go to Deku turn and go to try and swing her tail down at him. Deku bringing his hand up and stopping it. Before swinging to grab her tail and fling her over his head and smash her into the ground. And right now Deku, whenever he does do that, he does turn back to the wall. Him bring his hand onto it, as the concrete, it does actually just start to fold back together into a proper door. Now, Ryuko actually is going to get up off the ground. And right now she has to look directly back towards Deku. As she actually does start to ask him, what type of quirk is that? And Deku does tell her. She really hasn't been keeping up on the news, has she? Him stepping forwards. As right now Deku actually is going to manifest a pair of dragon wings from his back. And right now, she does stand there surprised. As Deku does tell her exactly who he is. He's Izuku Midoriya. Now, Ryuko, she's alarmed. She already made one mistake that she heard about from this guy. Don't make contact. He'll take your quirk. Now, Ryuko does watch, as Deku does rush forwards towards her, as he actually does double in size. Now, right now Ryuko, she does try to hold off Deku. And many pro heroes, they're trying to run through the facility to try and save Eri. Now, there currently is the girls. The girls, they were trying to figure out what to do. As right now, whenever many people do come in, these two, they start to focus on trying to take down the cops. And their actions were the two, whenever they do take down a group of cops, they immediately try to grab their pepper spray and their weapons, like their guns. And whenever they do take down a few other of the officers, they try to call out on the radio. And they even try to call out in public, if not out loud. That being what Mizuki is doing. Now, Mizuki is using a voice changer. And that is one of the things right now that make her very dangerous. Now, these two, they're a very deadly team. However, right now, while they're going for incapacitation because these are heroes and police officers, there are actually many other members of the organization who are a bit more annoyed. Anyone who does slip through the cracks the areas these two are at, they are killed by the villains, or Overhaul's crew. And now there actually is Mirio. Mirio and Sir Night Eye were able to slip past. Sir Night Eye saw that certain people, they would be, well, taken down if they go down certain hallways. So what he did was go down a hallway he knew no one would be taken down in. And that was something that All Might, Sir Night-Eye, he was able to do to avoid the entire situation. Now, Night-Eye, he needs to stop Overhaul. Overhaul, in the grand scheme of things, is dangerous. And if he is allowed to continue with his work, then there's no telling what can happen. He's seen the future before. He's seen it play out. And, well, what happens here today, he won't allow it. If Mirio survives here, if Mirio stays alive, then the future might be able to change. If he isn't killed here. Now, right now that's his concern. If Mirio stays alive, then All Might's successor, he'll stay alive long enough to pass down that power as well. But that's the concern. Will Mirio be okay? Will he be okay? And right now that's one thing that he does feel scared about. However, his nerves cannot get in the way here. And right now there actually is Deku outside. Deku, after taking down Ryuko and many other of the oncoming pros, they just threw waves and waves at him. And Deku, he took them all out using physical skill. As whenever Deku, he broke someone's arm, he kicked someone else in the face. Whenever somebody tried to smash him across the face with a baton, it broke against his metallic skin before Deku, he simply did go to Doki, give them a solid jab in the gut, before smashing them across the face with a fist. Deku, he knocks people's teeth in. And he makes sure that the people who try to climb over the walls, they're all taken down. Now, Deku, after taking out a lot of different people, he does actually go to turn and walk into the building. As right now, he's actually a bit more concerned. Deku walking into the building and going to Doki turn. Him going to reach down by the corner of the door, picking up his walkie-talkie and going to Doki bring it up. No one else is coming into the building. So far, whoever may have slipped past me, they're inside. Now, Deku does hear Overhaul talk about how he heard. Right now they're trying to get out of here, trying to escape. However, the heroes, they're becoming an issue. And, well, their supplies, they are too valuable to lose. If things happen here today that cause them to be destroyed or seized, then it will be bad. And Deku does ask Overhaul if he does need his help, to which Overhaul he would deny, flat out saying that Deku needs to take down the pros and the police. Take them down and get out of here. Then he'll meet up and pay him. After that, they can discuss a few other things. Now, Deku does tell Overhaul he hired him for security. However, this entire raid on his place, he never mentioned it. He needs another bonus. They all do. Now, Shizuki, he does begrudgingly say he got it, and that they'll figure something out later. To which Deku does hold him to. And right now Deku, he actually does get a turn and run down the hallway. As General Aizawa, he does try to get back onto his feet. He tried laying there pretending like his, well, attack may have injured him too much, as if he was actually properly blinded. And Deku, yeah. Clearly he's skilled, but there's an issue. He doesn't know what type of powers happen or have effects on people, especially ones he doesn't use or is deemed to be useless. His arsenal is too much, well, different. He doesn't understand how a quirk can properly affect someone if he doesn't use it. Now, Aizawa gets on his feet, and as he is trying to blink away the blindness, he actually is looking down towards the ground. Him trying to feel his way to the door, as right now after he does get inside, his vision starts to clear up a bit. And right now, he does see the current carnage. Heroes and police. Right now, there's people lying all over the floor, but they're alive. He hears them breathing. That being what he thinks as he's currently using his hands to make his way through the building. And right now, he's having difficulty. He needs to find a way there. However, he needs to fix his eyes first. Now, Aizawa, he needs to wait. Sadly, he's aware of that. Now, there currently is Deku, who, as he's walking through the building, he discovered exactly how crazy things might have just gotten. As while Deku's walking down the hallway, one of the pillars on the wall does come out trying to smash Deku. Deku bringing his hand backwards and smashing into it, as right now a face has come out of it, telling him sorry. And Deku does look towards the wall, telling him not to try to attack him again. And the guy, he does confirm to Deku that he won't. And Deku does try to ask him exactly where the hell is he, because the entire layout of the building changed. And the man won't inform him. He currently needs to continue down the hallway. Go left, go right again, take a left, and then go straight. There should be a staircase at the end. And right now, the rooms, they might all have been rearranged. He'll try to keep that pathway there for as long as possible. But the areas he's already sectioned off need to be opened up to shift around again. He has 2 minutes. And Deku just burst out into a sprint. The man watching his Deku, he runs down the hallway fast. And Deku does currently bring the radio up, asking the other two where they are. And we do actually currently have them. Right now Mizuki just standing there in a room. And so does Ochako. The two are currently having a bit of a face-off with heroes. And the heroes, they're trying to get the two villains to turn themselves in. They're aware that they are formerly UA students. And they might be involved here, but there's still time to redeem themselves. And Mizuki, she does fire a warning shot at the pro. And the pro, after having a duck, they do try to somewhat rush in and attack. Mizuki telling the pro to stop as the pro does so. The pro is immediately ordered to turn around and attack the heroes. And right now the pro immediately does so. As right now he does immediately go to turn and centipedes start flying to get the heroes to either wrap them up and, well, stop their movements, or to try and get them to run away. Now, as that's all currently happening, we do actually have, while Deku is running through the facility, trying to find his way downstairs, and the girls, they're taking on pros. There's somebody else here. The League of Villains. Now, the League of Villains were very surprised to see exactly what was going on here. They knew that Sir Night was involved in a specialized operation. And the Chiha Saikai, all for one, was very intrigued. From what his understanding was, the Chiha Saikai, they're working on something. And right now, he wants it. Now, right now, Toga, Dabi, and Mr. Compress, all three of these people are here. And they are very intrigued as to what they're supposed to be finding. As they are running into the villain's base, watching as the heroes, they're all on the ground. And right now, right now, Mr. Compress, he does decide to take a few hostages. Now, as that does happen, we do cut back to Deku. As right now, Deku, he does get down the staircase and immediately go to turn. As he does so, he does look at two people standing there. And he does immediately go to bring up his hand. As right now, he does hear somebody behind him, and he does go to a turn. Him throwing back his left foot and smashing his foot directly into the gut of a pro. The pro being sent flying backwards and down the entire hallway. As right now, Deku, he does look at the two heroes, who do get to somewhat turn around and look right at him. And Deku, he looks at very two interesting people, because they're a little young to be pros. Now, Deku, he stares directly at Nejire and Tamaki. And right now, Tamaki, he does get to directly bring his hands up. He's the guy from outside. And right now, he does try to use the Kraken ability to attack Deku. Now, Deku, he actually does stare directly at that. And right now, Deku, he does bring up his own hand, and his fingers, they do the exact same thing. And right now, whenever the tentacles do smash against each other, there actually is Tamaki, who does go on the back foot. And Nejire does directly go to bring her hands backwards and blast backwards into the air. However, she has to be careful. She needs to be careful about her power here. She needs to get up close and personal to attack him. Corridors are too bad here. And Spiral, it doesn't move fast enough to blast him at high speeds. But he has Tamaki's quirk. Now, right now Tamaki, he's on the back foot. Deku, his muscles are stronger. So that means that this quirk, it is stronger. Those tentacles are all made of muscle. Now, Tamaki, he's surprised whenever Deku does get a grip on him. And right now, as Deku, he does actually rip the tendrils or tentacles off of Tamaki's fingers, Tamaki doesn't want to scream out. Him actually shifting his hand back into regular fingers, and right now going to directly back away. He needs an idea. He needs a plan. And now he does tell Nejire what to do. As Tamaki, he actually starts to turn his body, or at least coat it, in a layer of that, well, material. Right now he needs better armor. And that is just what he'll do. The mineral will work fine. However, there's an issue. This guy has a quirk similar to his, right? I mean, not exactly, but nearly like it. So the two need to get in close. A good blast, maybe to his head, it'll knock him his equilibrium. It'll knock him off of balance, mess it up. And that's just it. If they can, maybe they can take him down. That's a good idea, right? Attack him, shake his head up. I mean, his brain still has to be normal, right? Now, Tamaki, he does what I think, though. They need to be careful. He'll go all out, but they'll hold back. That's an issue. Damn it. Wait, what was his power called again? No, that's what he currently does think. As Deku, he is rushing forwards with the wings of the dragon, and he actually has turned his hands into talons. And Nejire, seeing Deku partially transform like that, she is actually a bit more annoyed. Her rushing forwards, as right now she is actually trying to attack Deku. Her getting up close, as she has sent out a spiral, smashing Ricky into Deku, as he has to go blasting to the side and smashing through the wall. Now, Deku, he actually does go to someone get back up. And right after doing so, he does turn and look directly at her, telling her that that's quite the ability. Him actually going to crack his neck, as he does go to bring his hand up and wipe the blood off of his mouth. And right now, he does tell her, she can't win, especially with that ability. What do you mean? It's quite simple. Deku bring his hand up, and telling her, right now, what does she think that she is doing? And Nejire does stand there confused. As Deku, he does try to somewhat turn the energy she's producing from her body and drain it for him to absorb. And Deku, he actually do so. As the spirals start moving towards Deku, they actually do start forming into a solid one, and shoot directly towards Deku's palm. And Deku does actually start taking the quirk. As right now he actually has absorbed that energy, Nejire stops. Her actually going to start to land onto the ground as Tamaki does rush forwards. And right now Deku, he doesn't decide to entertain them. He has a job to do, and he's going to do it. Him directly lunging off of one of his feet. Him bringing his hand up as right now he has to go directly grab towards Tamaki's throat. Him actually leaping off the other foot and grabbing Nejire's. Him running in the hallway and smashing the two directly into the wall. As he does so, he actually has someone going to bend down and lower the two to the ground. Him setting them carefully down before explaining to both of them, his hands still on both of their throats. Right now what he is here for is quite simple. He's here for a contract. Once this is all said and done, he's going to go. And he'll be out of their hair. They can try again, but if they do, he'll more than likely hire them again. And right now Deku, he does hear Nejire mumble something. Tamaki is starting to black out. But whenever the hand is released from his throat, Deku, he actually goes on turn. And right now he actually is going to change his ear into a bat ear. And he does hear what Nejire does say. Nejire, she does say a few sentences of something. As she does simply say that Tsunade is here to save Eri. And Deku, he's confused. Looking back towards Nejire. Who the hell is Eri? Now, right now, Nejire, with her remaining consciousness, does start to try and explain. And Deku, whenever he does hear this, he gets angry. And right now there's actually where the entire building, it shakes. Now, there actually is in the lower levels, where Overhaul, he was trying to fight off both Sir Night-Eye and, well, Lemillion. Now, Sir Night-Eye, he was having a bit of difficulty. He's trying to avoid multiple steps that can cause his death. And while all that's happening, Lemillion, he's fighting off against the villains. And that's the issue. Right now, both of these two are here. He doesn't know if that's how this was supposed to happen. Him being here is a total, well, it isn't supposed to have happened, right? It's bad. Right now, he needs to try and correct the future. But how will it happen? How will it go? Him trying to look. Something. Him seeing it now. Something changed. Now, as Lemillion, he's rushing towards, well, Overhaul, he actually does feel it. As right now the roof immediately slams in and it explodes. As right now Lemillion does look up to see a very angry Deku. And Deku, the moment he does smash down, the room does shift and rumble. And the guy who's buried under rubble, he immediately goes from pointing the gun at Eri to pointing towards Lemillion, who right now he does stand there as he's actually trying to rush towards Overhaul. And he's confused whenever Deku is standing there. And right now Lemillion, he has a million things to say to Deku. Him shouting at him about what the hell happened at UA. However, the moment he does start shouting, a shot rings out. And whenever Lemillion does get a turn, Deku, he looked away. His body covered in platinum. And right now Lemillion, he's immediately struck in the side by a Quark Destroyer. Now, Deku, he looks directly at Chizuki, before lunging forwards at him and grabbing towards his throat. And the moment he does, there actually is where Chizuki, he does try to bring up his hands. And the moment that does happen, two arms shoot from Deku's sides, grabbing his wrist and immediately twisting his arms, breaking both of them. And Chizuki, yeah, that hurt quite a bit. And right now Deku, he does go to pull, as Deku was holding Chizuki with one set of arms up by the bend in his elbows. And right now Chizuki, he has his arms twisted off like a goddamn drumstick. Now, off of a turkey. With that being said, Deku, he does currently watch as Chizuki, he screams out in pain. And right now Lemillion, after feeling this thing in his body, he brings his hand down trying to grab towards the Quark Destroyer. Now, he does immediately bring it out and realize something. This bullet. His Quark. Now, Lemillion feels doom. For a minute, it sinks in for a second. Deku being here. Him in the same room as him right now. Nejire. Tamaki. Eri. Now, that was whenever the scream started. And he immediately turned to see Overhaul just flying towards the ground. And whenever he landed, he was backing away. Him shouting at Deku for what the hell he just did. As Deku, he drops Overhaul's arms. And right now, there actually is where, well, Mirio, he's terrified. Right now, he's confused. This guy hired Deku, right? He fought pros, but now he's on him? Why? Now, there actually is Sir Night-Eye. He's confused. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. This is not the future he saw. And right now, he's alarmed. Eri. Him actually going to turn and run in. And right now, as he does so, there actually is where the girls and the villains, they do appear. Now, the villains, they actually do come down the hole Deku created. And right now, as they are falling down, they do see the current situation. Mr. Compress actually going to slow down their descent, as they do see Deku headbutt Overhaul after he basically tore off his arms. And that was confusing to them. Doesn't that guy work for the dude? And there's actually Eri. Eri is looking down. Mario's paralyzed with fear, trying to figure out what to do. As right now he actually has turned his head to see Sir Night-Eye. Him actually running out from cover as he is immediately grabbed by centipedes. And right now he does get tied up and smashed into the ground. Aries is looking down at the ground, wrapped up in the cape. And the girls come running into the room. And the moment they do, there actually is where Ochako, she sees the villain who fired the bullets. Her immediately going to bring her gun up and firing a bullet directly into their head. Now, the moment Ochako does look down towards the case, she sees it. Her actually telling Mizuki to go for the kid, she'll get whatever that is. And right now, whenever Ochako does go to actually bend in and grab the case, she does open it up. No way. Now, Ochako is surprised. And right now they actually turn to see Deku. Now, Deku, he's actually trying to torture Overhaul. And Overhaul, he's hearing Deku shout at him. He hired him because he wanted protection. He lied to him. He betrayed his own trust. He is a fucking villain. Now, Deku, he actually just pulled back his fist, smashing Overhaul across the face over and over and over again. And right now, Deku, he's not using his super strength. And there actually is the villains. Right now, Mr. Compress, he does turn to see Mizuki. Him bringing up his hand and telling her to stop moving. Mizuki looking at him and smiling, telling him no, before he does something that's going to stop. Now, Dabi and Himiko, they do stand there. And right now, whenever Dabi does go to bring his hands up, he actually does watch her going to bring her gun up, firing directly at him as Dabi does a blast of flames and try to move. Her actually going to start take a step to her left and leaping off of her foot to try and dodge over the flames. And Toga, she actually does look around to see Ochako. And this is the first time these two have ever met. Ochako immediately staring at Toga as Toga does go rushing forwards towards her. Now, Deku, he actually just going to turn his head after smashing Overhaul across the face with a right hook. And right now, Deku, he does turn to see the situation. He heard the flames. And Deku, he does immediately see Dabi. Now, Deku does go flying in. As whenever Deku does rush past Mirio, he actually is alarmed. Him being knocked over and onto the ground. Him going to get back up on his feet and trying to focus. Him actually going to somewhat run over to Sir Night-Eye. Now, Deku, he flies forwards, immediately smashing into Dabi's back and grabbing onto him. As right now, Deku's curious about this new quirk. He wonders what this will do. Deku immediately using Overhaul. Now, Dabi explodes. And the moment Deku does see that, he actually has to turn and look around. And the villains, they're all frozen. There's actually Toga, who after she turned and saw Dabi explode, she just stared at that, before Ochako brought her hand up and smashed Toga on the back of the neck. And Toga actually fell forward and landed onto the ground. And Mr. Compress was still brainwashed. Deku actually turning and looking around. As Sir Night-Eye, he does look over towards Overhaul. He's down. Now, Night-Eye actually is going to watch Deku. As Deku, he does stare down at his hands. This ability. He blew up a villain. But then there's also something else here. Deku actually looking down at his hand. As he does walk over and look down towards Dabi. The top half of him exploded. And then there's Compress. Now, Deku does start walking over to him. And right now Mirio, he does go to run over and get in front of Compress, telling Deku to stop. He's a villain. So are you. Look what you did. You killed them. He's still alive. What? Deku turning, telling Mirio, that's the one he killed. Overhaul is still alive. Right now, he's willing to spare Overhaul for one reason. Right now, he possesses the man's quirk. Right now, he possesses the quirk of a few of their friends upstairs. And right now, Deku bring up his left arm. And right now, Mirio does see Spiral in Deku's left arm. He tells him, if he gets in his way, he will blast him away. Mirio just staying there quirkless. And right now, he actually took a step forwards. And Deku just watched Mirio almost call his bluff. Deku, he likes Mirio. Mirio got wounded here. And, well, it was his fault. He lost his damn quirk. And the guy, he's fighting a villain. He is a student still. He's seen his data. Mirio's quirk was one that was theorized he could use and possess. But the dangers of it? Yeah. Not being able to be imprisoned. That was a no-go for Deku to have. And Deku, yeah. Right now Mirio is standing there telling Deku, blast him away then. Kill him. Like he killed the other villain. Now, Deku just stared at Mirio. And Mirio just stared back, telling Deku that he isn't a monster, is he? I kill villains. Anyone else who gets in my way, they're taken down, Mirio. Deku blasted Mirio backwards. And Mirio, he sent flying backwards, as right now he actually just lay there on the ground, clutching at his stomach. The wind just got knocked out of him. And that blast, it almost knocked him unconscious. But right now he's still laying there awake, and in pain. And there actually is Sir Night-Eye. Sir Night-Eye does look up towards Deku. And Deku, he does get Deku walk over and bend down. Him actually bringing Overhaul out of his quirk rotation. The quirk is dangerous. Everything Nejire told him. Deku actually going to bring his hand out and grab onto the blanket. Him pulling it down as he actually just looked at Eri. And she does get to turn her head and see Deku. As Deku just sit there looking at her. Deku, he's hiding it right now. But his arms, they were covered in blood. But he did, well, hide them. I don't know, Eri does look at Deku. Deku, his clean arms are shown. And Eri stares at him. Hey, it's okay. Listen, I'll get you out of here. Okay? You won't be hurt anymore. Now, Deku reaches his hand out. And Eri, she actually just goes back away from Deku. And Night-Eye does tell Deku, stay the hell away from her. Deku immediately going to shoot Night-Eye a look for telling him. If Night-Eye gets a hold of her, what does he think will happen? Now, Night-Eye does stare at Deku. And Deku does tell him, if Night-Eye has Eri, Eri will be turned over to the Hero Committee. What will they do then? They will do nothing but try to use her powers. They will do nothing. Him actually going to turn towards him and tell him, but try to make her a goddamn weapon, like what they did to him. Now, Night-Eye stares at Deku, and now he does get to look into the future, and he sees something puzzling. It changed, but it was blank. No, wait. Him looking back over towards Mirio. As right now he does try to use the ability again. But it's not possible. He just tried to look long term. Not what happened here today. And that is why his quirk shut off for a minute. Now, Deku, he does look back towards Eri and tell her, right now what he'll do is he'll protect her. He'll keep her safe. That being where Mizuki and Ochaku do come walking up. And they do go to bend down and tell her, right now they do know what she's been through. There are people who have been hurt. There are people who try to stop bad people from doing what they've done. And right now Deku, he actually is going to bringing the cloak up and over Eri. Him telling her that right now, what he needs her to do is keep her eyes closed. Then when they get out of here, she can open them. Night-Eye actually watching on. Those three are... those psychos, they're adept at this, aren't they? Now, Nani does watch. He watches Deku walk away. And right now he does carry Eri, well, surprisingly well. He's careful in his face. The expression of psychotic anger that was there a moment ago, that just unhinged look in his eye, it's softened. He's... No. Now, Nane is alarmed. Deku, he nearly murdered Overhaul, but he showed restraint. He was in a rage hearing what happened to Eri. But Mirio, he's still alive, and he's still alive. Now, their actions are Overhaul does hear footsteps. And Deku, he does go to bend down. And right now, Overhaul does stare at him. Him, looking over Deku's shoulder, you see that one of the girls, they have Eri. And Deku does tell Sir Night-Eye, he is going to need that power. Now, Night-Eye does stare at him, and try to ask him questions. Exactly what the hell is he doing? I'm doing my job. Your job? What exactly is that then? You cannot have that child. She will be in danger with you. She'll be in danger with you. What? Sir Night-Eye, I'm going to kill the Hero Committee. I'm going to take them all down. This ability I got from that villain, I'll make sure it goes to better use. Maybe I'll still have it. Who knows? Well, then again, sorry about your pros. He tricked me. Tricked you? Yeah. Your students are upstairs. They're all alive. The police officers all should be alive. And that villain right there, they keep looking towards Compress, telling Sir Night-Eye he'll take care of him. And Night-Eye does look directly at Deku's eyes. They're doing that thing again. His attitude suddenly just flips. Him looking back at him, and telling him with the very same attitude. He'll use Night-Eye's quirk to take down All for One. That man currently thinks he can take control of Japan. However, he won't allow it. Right now what he'll do is kill the man and make sure nothing else happens. Now, Deku, he does get Doki stand up and turn. Him walking over, and right now Doki bringing a hand onto Compress. Him grabbing onto the man and trying to think. What should he do here? And looking over towards all the other two. And right now Deku, he does want to turn to Night-Eye, asking, what's this guy's quirk? And Night-Eye does go to explain. His quirk is compress. He can compress objects into anything. And right now, Deku needs to at least empty his pockets if he's going to kill him. He doesn't know what he might have. The entire room could be flooded, or objects can just go shooting out of him. And Deku does listen. He holds up marbles. Deku just going to roll them onto the ground, as he does look back towards Compress. And he does do the deed. As right now, Compress, after he is quickly killed, Deku, he actually just doesn't bring up his hand. Marble. That's what I'll call this ability. Okay. Now, Deku does Deku walk back over. And right now, there actually is where Deku, him and the girls do leave. And Sir Night-Eye, he's alarmed. Deku took his quirk. Deku took Compress's quirk. And the other two, Dabi, Overhaul, did he get theirs? Spiral, Nedgerace. Now, Night-Eye does look over towards Mirio, shouting and asking if he's okay. And right now Mirio, he actually someone going to look up and actually sit up. Him telling Sir that he's actually okay. However, he feels like he broke something. And Night-Eye does look at someone smile. Right now Mirio is alive. And that is good. But there's also another situation then. The Hero Committee. If what he's saying is true, if him suddenly betraying Overhaul is true, then Everything he said is possibly true. Oh God, what have they done? Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.